Terence Crawford is pulling out all the stops as he prepares for his highly anticipated fight against Canelo Alvarez. Recently, Crawford made an appearance at the David Benavidez vs. David Morrell press conference, not just as an observer, but also taking part in a training session with Benavidez after the event. Crawford has been seeking guidance from some of the best in boxing, having already received lessons from Floyd Mayweather the week before. Now, he has turned to David Benavidez, a fighter who has been vocal about wanting to face Canelo for years. Benavidez, known as the Mexican Monster due to his devastating power and unshakable confidence, has repeatedly stated that he believes he can defeat Canelo if they ever meet in the ring.
Fight luck with Benavidez. Who do you take?
I still got it at 50-50. Benavidez good.
Despite his confidence, Canelo has consistently turned down a matchup with Benavidez. Now, Crawford is tapping into Benavidez's vast knowledge of Canelo's fighting style as he prepares for his own showdown with the Mexican legend. The two spent a significant amount of time discussing Canelo's techniques and boxing style, exchanging insights on how best to approach a potential fight with him. Benavidez, with his reputation as one of the most feared and respected fighters in boxing, is currently preparing for his upcoming bout against David Morrell, which promises to be more than just another fight.
You know, first of all, I try to shake his hand, you know what I mean? I try to be cool. Because last press conference, you know, we did the talking, but then in the middle, after, we was quarters over shaking hands and stuff, so. No, I was just expecting the same thing.
Scheduled for February 1 at the THM-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, this contest has been years in the making, as Morrell has been relentlessly calling out Benavidez. Morrell, who is undefeated with a record of 11-0 and 9 knockouts, has made it clear that he believes he has what it takes to take down the WHBSC interim champion. However, Benavidez is focused on more than just securing a victory in this fight.
I'm focused 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any.
He has his sights set on greater challenges, including his future showdown with Canelo. Canelo, however, remains skeptical about the idea of facing Crawford, especially given Crawford's size disadvantage. While he acknowledges Crawford's skills, Canelo is unconvinced about how the smaller fighter would fare at 154 pounds. He's a good fighter, but I think he knows it's a little bit different at 154, Canelo said. That's why there are weight classes. I like Crawford's style, but it's different.
Positioning, if he wants to work with me, is in my way, not in their way.
What was
I don't need it.
What didn't you like about how he approached? Like, what was
it's not that.
Despite Canelo's praise for Crawford's talent, he seems hesitant to believe that Crawford can pose a real threat at this weight, given the differences in their physical attributes. At the same time, Canelo has been thinking ahead and weighing his options for future bouts. He has suggested that he might hold off on facing Benavidez for the moment, with Benavidez looking toward a potential fight with whoever emerges victorious from the Dmitry Bivol vs. Artur Beterbiev light heavyweight title unification clash in Saudi Arabia on March 12. This fight has captured the attention of boxing fans worldwide, and Canelo seems interested in other challenges as well, especially a possible fight in Japan. Canelo, who grew up watching fighters like Jorge Linares, has expressed a desire to fight in Japan, citing the country's rich boxing history. He also mentioned the influence of former featherweight champion Oscar Larios, who fought multiple times in Japan.
It's not the way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if he wants.
This suggests that Canelo is open to pursuing different opportunities and experiences outside of traditional boxing venues. Although Canelo's comments about possibly fighting in Japan reflect his desire to explore new frontiers, it remains unclear whether he will eventually head to Saudi Arabia or take up other challenges in the near future. In addition to these potential fights, Canelo is reportedly asking for a staggering $200 million to make the long-discussed Benavidez fight happen, a demand that has caused some friction with boxing executives and promoters. This huge financial ask has raised doubts about whether the fight will ever materialize, and it seems that Canelo is willing to wait for the right conditions before agreeing to a deal. Canelo Alvarez's demand for a massive $200 million payday for a potential showdown with David Benavidez has stirred significant controversy and sparked discussions within the boxing world. Speaking with the media, Canelo provided some insight into why he feels his price tag is justified. Obviously, David Benavidez is a great fighter, and he brings 25 pounds more than me to the ring on fight night. It's a risk, but I don't care if the money's right, Canelo said, further emphasizing that he would be willing to take the fight as soon as the conditions are met. If the money's right, we could fight tomorrow. However, Canelo's demand for a $200 million fee presents a significant challenge for promoters, as it would require an enormous gate to generate the necessary revenue. This reality is something that Turki Al-Aliyev, a key figure in the modern revitalization of boxing and head of the Riyadh season, is all too aware of.
Payday, obviously, but I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
He's the king I want.
Al-Aliyev, who has played a pivotal role in injecting new life into the sport, particularly through his work with major boxing events in Saudi Arabia, didn't hold back in responding to Canelo's lofty demand. Taking to social media, he addressed Canelo's comments, claiming that the Mexican superstar was being unrealistic in his financial expectations. I heard Canelo say that he respects me but doesn't like the way we do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me if he does or not, Al-Aliyev stated. He further commented on Canelo's business practices, pointing out that he only targets high-profile, fair-priced fights. I know why he doesn't like it because I only target big fights at fair prices. So, of course, anyone who likes easy fights won't like that, Al-Aliyev remarked, suggesting that Canelo's reluctance to engage in difficult fights might be at the core of the friction between the two. Al-Aliyev also made strong statements about Canelo's approach to his career post-Bivol loss, implying that the Mexican fighter has been seeking easier bouts after his defeat. I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easier fights ever since, Al-Aliyev added. The remark was particularly sharp, as it implied that Canelo's desire to face less dangerous opponents was preventing key matchups from materializing. Al-Aliyev went on to confidently assert that he, unlike Canelo, was not afraid of challenging fighters like Benavidez or Terence Crawford, suggesting that the hesitation on Canelo's part was part of a broader strategy of avoiding tough opponents. I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. I know he's wasting our time with excuses about big amounts of money that can't be paid, Al-Aliyev said.
Right now,
Yeah.
Turkey has said that he's not interested in the fight anymore. What's your reaction or your response to that?
For Terence Crawford, Canelo's avoidance of potential high-profile fights must be particularly frustrating. Crawford has long viewed a fight with Canelo as a career-defining opportunity, one that would provide not only a monumental payday but also cement his legacy as one of the sport's greatest. Crawford, known for his calm and composed demeanor, has remained open to the possibility of fighting Canelo, provided the financial offer is fair. If the money's right, we've got a fight, Crawford said during a recent ringside interview.
It was no different from 147, to be honest. Israel just was a strong opponent, and we knew that coming in the gate.
He compared the potential fight with Canelo to his past fights, including his victory over Errol Spence Jr., and expressed confidence in his ability to face the challenges ahead. It's no different than 147. To be honest, we knew the opponent was strong, but at the same time, I've got a fight I'm focused on. I'm going to go back to my family, relax, and enjoy the win and the accomplishments I've made in boxing. Crawford remains optimistic that, with the right financial backing, the showdown with Canelo will eventually happen.
The right hand wasn't bothering me. I wasn't really too much worried about the right hand. He landed a couple of times at the end of the round where he was trying to steal it around.
However, he seems content to continue working on his career while waiting for Canelo to make a decision. The tension between Al-Aliyev and Canelo has been ongoing for several months, with both sides exchanging words through public channels. Al-Aliak, who has been instrumental in reshaping the boxing landscape with his efforts in Saudi Arabia, first drew attention when he made a public statement suggesting that an offer had been made for Crawford to face Canelo.
Like Ali Sheikh say that he sent you an offer, possibly to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
Canelo quickly shot down those claims, denying that any official offer had been extended. He maintained that his focus was on the fights ahead, particularly with his ongoing negotiations surrounding the Benavidez matchup. When asked about the financial aspect of a potential fight with Crawford, Canelo reportedly indicated a desire for $150 million, a number that, like his $200 million request for Benavidez, raises questions about the feasibility of the bout. Whether this figure was intended as a serious demand or simply posturing remains unclear, but it's possible that such a high ask contributed to the abandonment of talks for a potential Canelo-Crawford clash.
I said to him, we will send you 2 gloves if you want to play in Saudi Arabia. That's it. He said to me, send to me 2 Ferrari.
While the Canelo-Crawford fight seems to be at a standstill, the prospects for a Canelo-Benavidez bout are similarly uncertain. Benavidez, who holds the WHBSC super middleweight title, has been vocal about wanting a fight with Canelo for years. He has long considered Canelo to be his biggest rival, and in interviews, Benavidez has expressed frustration at Canelo's refusal to face him in the ring.
Real champion is up on 68 is. Now just give me the fight that we all want to see. Who wants to see David Benavidez versus Canelo? That's what you guys want to see?
Speaking to ESPN, Benavidez stated, "The reason why this fight is not happening is simple. Canelo doesn't want it to happen. Plain and simple. I mean, the money is there. The anticipation from the fight fans is there. It would be an amazing event." Benavidez, who is undefeated and boasts an impressive knockout record, believes that the fight is not only desirable but necessary for the sport. Despite the high demand for the fight from fans and the lucrative financial opportunities it presents, Canelo's resistance has led to a standoff, with the fight remaining elusive for the time being. While these negotiations remain ongoing, boxing fans continue to hope that Canelo will eventually agree to take on one of these high-profile opponents. The futures of both Terence Crawford and David Benavidez are intertwined with the Mexican fighter, and their careers may ultimately hinge on whether Canelo is willing to accept these significant challenges. However, with both fighters and promoters adamant about their terms, the road to these dream matchups may be longer and more complicated than fans had hoped. David Benavidez, the 27-year-old American boxer, is keeping his eyes on the prize but may have to wait for his shot at undisputed glory. Ahead of his own potential showdown with Canelo Alvarez, Benavidez took the opportunity to analyze the Mexican champion's approach in the ring. Reflecting on Canelo's upcoming fight with Jaime Munguia, Benavidez offered some tactical advice. Munguia has to throw combinations and then escape to the outside to avoid getting hit back by Canelo, he explained. When asked about his own approach against Alvarez, Benavidez emphasized that he should avoid engaging on the inside, where Canelo thrives.
Canelo, because that's what Canelo thrives at. He loves throwing those body shots, and he will find it. So he has to keep his distance, punching combinations, and get out the way. If he doesn't have to be there, then don't be there. Don't receive unnecessary.
"I shouldn't fight Canelo inside because that's where he's at his best," Benavidez said. In an interview with the Shanzadal YouTube channel, Benavidez expressed confidence in his ability to defeat Canelo but warned it wouldn't be an easy fight. "I think so, but it's not going to be an easy fight."
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight. Munguia, he's a strong fighter. He's a combination puncher. And if you see the fighters that give Canelo problems are the combination puncher.
Canelo's a strong fighter. He's a combination puncher. And if you look at the fighters who give Canelo trouble, it's those who throw combinations, Benavidez explained. He also outlined a strategic approach to avoid taking too much punishment from Canelo, stressing the importance of keeping distance during the fight. "The key is to stay outside. You can't be on the inside against Canelo because that's where he excels with his body shots. He'll find you. You have to keep your distance, punching combinations, and get out." Benavidez further elaborated on his strategy, stating that if he could avoid Canelo's punches, it would significantly impact Alvarez's performance. "I've been watching Canelo for a long time, and I've got a good game plan. If I can execute it, it's going to be a tough fight for him. Canelo can crack too, you saw that against John Ryder. His power punching is strong, so it's going to be interesting, Benavidez said. He acknowledged that Canelo is a tough fighter who does get hit, but he made it clear that taking punches in boxing is sometimes inevitable.
Munguia's able to do that, and it's going to be a tough fight, because Munguia can crack too. Munguia can crack. You can see that when he fought John Ryder. You know, he's power punch, he can crack, so it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be easy, like how people say it is. You know, Munguia is a tough fighter. You know, he's Mexican blood, he's a warrior, so it's going to be a good fight.
Interestingly, Benavidez seems to have come to terms with the reality that a showdown with Canelo Alvarez may not happen soon. While he has long pushed for a fight with the Mexican superstar, Canelo's stance appears to remain firm. As a result, Benavidez has shifted his focus toward new challenges, including a move up to the light heavyweight division. He confirms that he is scheduled to face Ukrainian Alexander Gvozdyk at 175 pounds in June. Despite being named the WBC's mandatory challenger for Canelo's super middleweight title last year, Benavidez has found it difficult to secure a fight with Alvarez, and recent developments suggest that the matchup could be further delayed. Adding to the complexity of the situation, Benavidez's demand for a staggering $150 million purse has complicated the negotiations for a Canelo fight. This figure, while likely a negotiation tactic, has led to further hesitation from the Alvarez camp. Meanwhile, Benavidez's size advantage is hard to ignore. Standing 6 years younger, 6 inches taller, and possessing a 4-inch longer reach, Benavidez has the physical attributes to pose a serious challenge to Canelo, who will need to address these factors if they ever meet in the ring. There has been some progress, however, with Benavidez indicating that he is open to a rehydration clause in their potential fight contract.
They're gonna say, oh, they put me that clause, so nothing to do with that fight.
Canelo, however, doesn't see the benefit in such a clause, as he believes it could be used as an excuse if the fight doesn't go in his favor. A rehydration clause is a lose-lose situation. After the fight, they'll just say I won because of the clause. Then what? It won't have anything to do with the fight itself, Canelo remarked during an interview from his training camp in Lake Tahoe, California.
You're in a lose-lose situation too.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation because, you know, they're gonna, after the fight, they're gonna talk out because of this.
He compared the potential fallout to the narrative that emerged after Ryan Garcia's loss to Gervonta Davis, where the catch weight and rehydration clause were cited as contributing factors. Canelo's history with weight clauses goes back to his early career. In 2013, when he fought Floyd Mayweather Jr. and suffered his first career loss, Alvarez was forced to fight at a 152-pound catch weight despite being the 154-pound champion. At the time, Mayweather had originally requested the fight at 147 pounds, but they eventually settled on 152 pounds. Canelo weighed in at 165 pounds on fight night, while Mayweather weighed in at 150.5 pounds and fought at 150 pounds.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose situation because, you know, they're gonna, after the fight, they're gonna talk out because of this.
Highlighting the complexity and potential controversies surrounding weight stipulations in big-time boxing. With Benavidez eager to make his mark on the boxing world and Canelo focused on his own career milestones, the path to a potential fight between the two remains uncertain. As Benavidez targets new challenges in the light heavyweight division, Canelo continues to defend his place as one of boxing's premier champions. However, the demand for a mega fight between the two continues to grow, and should both sides find common ground, it could become one of the biggest matchups in recent memory. David Benavidez has made it clear why he believes Canelo Alvarez is avoiding a fight with him. After months of waiting for a chance to challenge Canelo for the undisputed 168-pound title, Benavidez has announced that he'll be moving up to light heavyweight to pursue the WBC interim 175-pound title against Alexander Gvozdyk. At a press conference in Miami on Wednesday, Benavidez explained his decision to move up in weight. "I don't know what Canelo wants to do. I was the #1 contender for the belt. I've been waiting for 3 years, and he didn't want to give me the opportunity. I got tired of waiting. I want to give the fans the best fights, and if he doesn't want to fight me, I have to move up and find other fights.
I'm not scared of nobody. I've hurt everybody that's been in front of me, and Canelo's no different. And I will hurt him too, and I'll take all his belts. It's crazy that he asked for 150 million or two.
Benavidez doesn't mince words when it comes to his belief that Canelo is avoiding him. I think he already knows what's going to happen when he fights me. I'm younger, stronger, and faster, and he knows it. I think that's why he doesn't want to fight me. This statement adds fuel to the growing rivalry between the two fighters, with Benavidez confident that Canelo is aware of the challenge he presents. Despite the years-long tension, Benavidez has often expressed his frustration with the lack of respect Canelo has shown him. I feel like I'm Mexican and Ecuadorian, but I was born in the US, Benavidez said, addressing Canelo's comments about avoiding fights with other Mexicans. I get criticized too, with people saying I'm American, not Mexican. That comment Canelo made isn't for me. I've earned my spot winning 2 title eliminators, and it's not my fault that these guys don't want to fight me. I don't want to keep talking about it because we all look like idiots.
The WBC has ordered Canelo to fight you next if you win this. So if you do win, would you force the WBC to strip Canelo if he doesn't fight you?
The rivalry between the two fighters escalated after Canelo made controversial comments regarding his reluctance to face other Mexicans. Speaking to USA Today, Canelo said, "I represent Mexico, and I don't want to fight Mexicans. I think Zurdo has a chance to win, and I want him to win."
Career, if I don't mean anything. Maybe after he gets that money, he can buy himself a pair of balls. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the people I'm getting frustrated, I just want to fight the best. I've earned my title.
This was seen as an attempt to distance himself from fighting compatriots, a stance that Benavidez took issue with. "I'm not 100% Mexican, but I'm Mexican and Ecuadorian, and I was born in the US, Benavidez countered. If he's not going to fight Mexicans, then what's going on? I have the World Boxing Council interim belt, and I've earned my place in the rankings.
Been a vicious champion for a long, long time, and you know, I've won my shots. You know, I've earned my respect. Now the only thing that's keeping me from being champion is Canelo. You know, he doesn't.
Benavidez has also named other fighters, including Jermall Charlo, Caleb Plant, and David Morrell, in his ongoing frustration about the lack of competition. His comments have certainly caught Canelo's attention, as the Mexican champion recently responded, "I don't care. I'll fight anybody my entire life. I don't want to fight Mexicans because I represent Mexico, but I'll fight anyone."
I don't want to fight Mexican is because I represent Mexico, and that's why. But I don't care. I fight anybody, and I fight all my entire life anybody. What do you think?
Despite Canelo's claim that he is open to fighting anyone, including Benavidez, it remains to be seen if the two will ever meet in the ring. Canelo has traditionally fought fewer compatriots as his career has progressed, but the potential clash with Benavidez would undoubtedly be a highly anticipated bout. In the meantime, Benavidez is focused on his move to light heavyweight, where he will face Gvozdyk for the WBC interim title. The question remains, will Benavidez's new challenge distract him from his pursuit of a fight with Canelo, or will it only fuel his desire to prove himself against the Mexican superstar? What are your thoughts on the potential Benavidez versus Canelo fight and Benavidez's upcoming challenge against Gvozdyk? Leave your predictions for both fights in the comments below. For the latest updates on boxing news, events, and analysis, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and turning on notifications so you don't miss out on quality content. Until next time, peace.